You think you have a lead problem, but here's the truth. It's not the phone ringing that's killing your cash flow. It's what happens after the phone rings. And if you're leaking money in even one of these four areas, you are leaving hundreds of thousands, literally, if not millions of dollars on the table every year. The next time you think we need more leads, do you need more leads or do you just need to get more out of the leads you're already getting? You think you have a lead problem, but here's the truth. It's not the phone ringing that's killing your cash flow. It's what happens after the phone rings. And if you're leaking money in even one of these four areas, you are leaving hundreds of thousands, literally, if not millions of dollars on the table every year. I am Paul Maskell, and I'm a fractional CFO for $2 to $20 million home service companies. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the four biggest leaks I see in almost every single sales funnel, from poor call booking rates to average tickets that are way too low, and show you exactly how to fix them so you can change your entire cash flow picture. And at the end, we're going to go through an example how literally a $2.5 million company went to a $6.1 million company without any more leads. And you might be wondering, why is the CFO talking about a sales funnel? And here's the thing. We look at all the numbers that drive the business. And when we start to dig into what's causing the profit issues, what's causing the cash flow issues, why is our gross profit low? Why is our marketing spend too high? A lot of it comes down to these four things. Here they are. Number one is call booking rate. Basically, how many people reach out to you? And out of those people, how many actually get booked and put on the dispatch board? Number two is cancellation rate. So out of the people that get put on the dispatch board, how many actually cancel? And then number three, the closing rate. So they got on the dispatch board, they didn't cancel. We went to their home, we presented them options, and did we actually turn them into paying customers? And then last, but definitely not least, the average ticket. And when you start to do the math behind these things, depending on how many leads you're getting, it is wild. It is insane how much more revenue you can do without spending any more money on marketing when we improve our call booking rate, improve our cancellation rate, improve our closing rate, and or improve our average ticket. So how do we improve them? That's what we're going to get into. So let's just start at the top. Call booking rate. What are the expectations? So good home service companies book at 85%. Really good and great home service companies book at 90% plus. Now, if you ask Service Titan has all this data. I don't remember exactly what the number is, but the average user of Service Titan books at like 45%, something insanely low. So how do we get to 85% and above? First thing we need to do is we need to have a script. We need to have a script that will all of our people answering the phone or AI follows in order to book more calls. This is the first interaction for most of your customers for your company. So this is our first sales process. Our people or our computer that's answering the phone has to convince this person to take time out of their day to meet a technician at their home. So we have to have a script that follows a repeatable process that walks the customer down a path, gets all the information we need, and sets them up for success. That's the first opportunity to build the value. So we have to have a script. If you need help with this, I recommend checking out Power Selling Pros. That's exactly what they focus on, is training your call center to book more calls. Next thing I highly recommend is having performance pay in place for your CSRs. So if you have humans answering the phone, they need to know, what does success look like? The number one job of that CSR is to book the call. So you could have performance pay set up, keep it very simple. They could get a certain dollar amount per booked call. You could also have it, you need to at least hit 85% call booking rate in order to earn a bonus. And then it's on a per call basis, something like that. But people react to incentives when they know what the expectations are. They know what the report card is going to look like. They know what their scorecard is based off of. It's going to make your job easier. They are going to want to get better. And then lastly, another thing that I see kind of falls into that cancellation thing as well, that we'll get into. But after you book the job, do they get a text message conversation? Almost all CRMs do this now, but that at least puts their mind at ease of, hey, I just talked to this person. 5 minutes later, I got a text message confirming the appointment for tomorrow between 10 and 12, whatever it might say. So that's number one, call booking rate. We do those three things along with other things as well. we are going to have a higher call booking rate. If you're not at least at 85%, you have work to do. If you're at 85%, let's try and get it to 90. Second thing, cancellations. Along with that confirmation text, how about we call the day before to confirm our appointment? So they get a text right when they book or once you put it in the system. And then the day before, why don't we have our dispatcher or our CSR call to confirm that they're still ready for that appointment? Because sometimes what happens is they make the appointment, they forget about it, and then they're not at home, and then your technician's frustrated, and then they have to cancel and reschedule. That's lost money, lost time, lost revenue. So call the day before to confirm. The number one reason people cancel, though, is you are too far booked out. You are booked out way too far. So if somebody calls you and they don't have heat or they don't have air, and you say, we'll be out there in 4 days, they might say, put us down, and then they're going to call and cancel shortly after because they're going to call around. So we cannot be booked out too far. If you're a true service company, we need to not be booked up that far. We need to have availability for emergencies same day. So you need to set up your dispatch board. You need to have different percentages of, hey, going into tomorrow, we need to be at 75%. 2 days, we need to be at 50%. 3 days, we need to be at 25%, whatever it might be. If you do more like install and construction, where you're sending somebody out to give a quote, and then that quote turns into a project that's going to be done in a couple of months, we do not want to be booked out too far. If it takes 2 weeks from the time they call us for the time to us get out there, they're more likely to shop around. They're more likely to find other people. And by the time you get to your appointment, they might call when you do that day before confirmation and say, sorry, we already got 3 quotes, whatever it might be. So we got to limit our cancellation rate. Ideally, it's 0. It's really hard to hit 0, but keep it in like the 1 to 2% range. If 100 people call, we don't really want more than 5 people canceling, to be honest. Or if 100 people book, sorry. Number 3, closing rate. So how do we improve our technicians' ability to close? By the time they get to presenting the price, we need to have done so many awesome things that the price is irrelevant. So once the job is booked, again, we need that confirmation. Maybe we send them a couple of emails letting them know what to expect. Maybe it has some videos of this is what to expect in your visit. Again, then the night before, they get a call from dispatch saying, hey, just want to confirm your appointment. All these things are building trust of, wow, this company isn't like every other company. Then on the day of the appointment, when the technician is on the way, they should call them. Yes, most CRMs will send a text, but why don't we do a little bit extra and call them and let them know, hey, just looking at my GPS, says I'll be there in about 15 to 20 minutes. So they've already then created a relationship with the technician. Then they arrive. And when they arrive, we need to have an entire sales process. Where do they park? What does their uniform look like? Do they have shoe covers? Are they bringing a mat? What kind of business card do they have? How are they knocking on the door? Are they actually having a conversation with the customer to learn more about them, and so they can help put together solutions that make sense for the customer? Do they have a process? Are they genuinely curious? All these different things go into improving our closing rate. What do we do from the time that person books until the time that we are actually presenting options? Look at every single step and ask yourself, how could I make this better? What could I do differently that no other company's doing? When it comes time to present our prices, we need to be presenting at least 3 options. If we're giving at least 3 options, the customer is now buying from us instead of us just telling them this is exactly what you need. So how do we put together 3 options? The better conversations we have, the more conversations we have, the more interested we are in them, then we will be able to create options that fit with the answers they gave us based on how long are they going to live in the home? How long have they lived in the home? What are their future plans for that area? All the things that go into you or your technician putting together solutions for them. And then where a lot of companies drop the ball is, say the customer says, no, I got to think about it. I got to talk to my spouse. I got to get another quote, whatever it might be. What are we doing after the fact? What is your follow-up process? Does the technician have a certain amount of time to be able to follow up and follow a process? Does it go to inside sales? Are we sending text messages? Are we giving them phone calls? What does that process look like? And then what does the success actually look like from a closing rate? It's going to vary across the board. In my opinion, if we're selling install work, call it new garage doors, new HVAC system, stuff like that, 50% is pretty strong. If it's service where something is broken, we need to be like at least 85%, because that means somebody called you, something wasn't working, and when you left, that something still wasn't working. That means we didn't do our job. That customer is just as frustrated as we are because we didn't solve their problem. So that's closing rate. Last thing is average ticket. A lot of this goes into the closing rate as well, with the additional thing of we need to make sure we're priced right. So I have a lot of videos, a lot of podcasts on how do we get our pricing right. We also have a pricing calculator. If you go to our website, thebluecollaradvisors.com, you can go there and figure out exactly how to price all of your services. But to improve our average ticket, we've got to get our pricing right. We've got to be able to create 3 options. We need to have that sales process. And then we need the follow-up process. So when we do those 3 options, it's going to be the good, better, best mentality. The good, the very basic one, is usually more or less what they called you out there for, more than a Band-Aid, but it's going to give them a permanent solution. The middle one might have some other things based on the conversation. If they said they're going to live there a little bit longer, they might have a little bit more bells and whistles. And then the top is, kind of the premium. Hey, you're not going to have to call us for a really long time type of deal. So get your average ticket up. I'm not going to give you a range because every industry is so different, but wherever you're at, just know you could improve your average ticket. So what's next? Here is where other companies drop the ball. How can we improve these things more or less in an indirect way? What do we do after the fact? Even if they're paying customers, job is done, do we stay in touch with them? Do we call them the next day to make sure they're happy? How are we leveraging all of our happy customers to get more referrals and improve these numbers? Here's the thing. If all of your customers are super happy, whoever they refer is more likely to say yes because their friend already said, yes, we know, we like, and we trust this person. So stay in touch with them. Send them email newsletters. Send them text messages. Check in on them. Send them a thank you gift. Follow the giftology methodology. There's so many ways that we can stand out and be different that will then improve all of these things. Our call booking rate's going to go up because everybody that calls us has already heard about us. Our average ticket's going to go up because they already trust us. Our closing rate's going to go up because they already trust us. And our cancellation rate's going to go down because they don't want to wait for somebody else, even if you're booked out a day or 2. So wrapping all of that up, the 4 things that we need to focus on to improve our cash flow without spending any more money on marketing is call booking rate, cancellation rate, closing rate, and average ticket. And here is a very simple example to show you how a company can go from $2.5 million to $6.1 million without getting any more leads. So both companies get 9,920 leads. One company, we'll call it company A, they have a booking rate of 70%. So 100 people called, 70% of them said, yes, put us on the schedule. Out of those 70%, 45% actually said, yes, go ahead and do the work. So we started with 9,920 leads. 70% of those said, yes, put us on the schedule. Didn't even include cancellation rate, just to keep it simple. Closing rate was 45%, and our average ticket was $800. If we did that, we would be a $2.5 million company, top line revenue, around 5% net profit, depending on how they're operating. From a valuation standpoint, everyone wants to sell their business these days. That business would be worth about $500,000. Someone would pay about $500,000 for that business. Or if we take those same 9,920 leads and we book at 85%. So instead of booking at 70%, we're going to book at 85%. Here's what that does just for the number of opportunities that we have. So 9,920 leads booked at 70% means we have 6,944 opportunities. Now, if we book at 85%, we have 1,500 more opportunities just by getting better on the phone. We go from 6,900 opportunities to 8,400. And then if we close at 60%, instead of 45%, and our average ticket goes from 800 to 1,200, again, not a massive jump. That company, same amount of leads, just getting better at booking the call, getting better at closing and improving our average ticket, would do $6.1 million in revenue. That is $3.6 million more in revenue just by getting better and not getting any more leads. Their net profit would be around 23%. If they went to sell that business, it would be worth $8.4 million. So same amount of leads. One business is worth $500,000. One business is worth $8.4 million just by improving their call booking rate, their closing rate, and their average ticket. So The next time you think we need more leads, do you need more leads, or do you just need to get more out of the leads you're already getting? Depending on how long you've been in business, this is kind of a COVID hangover, because in 2020, 2021, even going into 2022, we had so many leads. We didn't have to be good at booking them. We didn't have to be good at closing them. Average ticket didn't matter because there was so much work out there. Now everything's gotten tighter and we need to get better. If you're ready to stop guessing and actually see what your numbers are telling you, dive into these things and more, book a call with me. Just go to thebluecollaradvisors.com/call. If you go there, book a call, we'll chat. I'll learn more about your business, your goals, do a financial assessment, and figure out exactly what's getting in the way of you achieving your financial goals, show you exactly where the cash flow is leaking and what to do about it. Talk to you guys soon. Make it a great rest of your day.